to no end is when some of these nuisance streamers think that they can get away with, you know, going after people, holding them accountable. Okay. And what I don't like is that they start these actions against people who are speaking truth to power. And I think in many ways that we need to stand up against them. So, first of all, we all know that Johnny Somali is in South Korea, but apparently he's in full blown panic because he's trying to go after people that are, calling him out and holding him accountable. Now, this is a parody account, Johnny Somali. Yet again, Johnny Somali and his Discord of mindless followers seek to take my ex account down. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that's weak. Yo, Johnny Somali, you could do is stop telling people you support freedom of speech. You obviously don't. You censorship whore from Johnny's Discord. So that's Johnny, and he has the profile apparently, allegedly, of P. Diddy. All those guys are using Johnny Somali as their source. He should be the first one on the hit list. The hit list to be terminated, removed, and kicked out. And again, it's going to look pretty bad because Ramzi Khalid Ismail, his real name, Johnny Somali, is facing mounting legal troubles because in South Korea, he was playing adult material at a public park, halting buses and trains, doing all sorts of crazy things. And yes, even twerking and oiling up on the statues that were in honor of the women that were abused, harassed, trafficked by the Empire of Japan, the comfort women statues. And so everyone who's been following this case, it is important to note that one of the family members, allegedly an alleged victim, has filed to hold him accountable. And that in turn means, bad news for him. Plus, as I said before in previous segments, majority of the businesses and things in South Korea are controlled by chaebols. Oh, I know it sounds like a funny name, but you put respect on that name because the chaebols have absolute power. Okay, we did a Patreon video talking about chaebols. All right, that's why you should support Hard Lens Media. All right, and all that cool stuff because we talked a little bit about chaebols on Patreon. And when you disrupt what they're doing, and it's not on their end, and it's you. And they could hit you with some stuff. It ain't good. It's not good. Okay? It's not good. It's not good. So of course I want to play this video here. I want to give a huge shout out to Legal Mindset because I love it when people are standing up in the community, and the Somali community has actually been doing, or the people holding Johnny Somali accountable for his actions is good in my book. So I want to play this video here.
His Discord goons have created a hit list ahead of his trial coming up in just a few weeks. We're getting that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, and we are following this Ramzi Khalid Ismail criminal saga from start to finish. And it has been a wild ride, and it will be a wild ride for the next possible 6 months, 8 months, year, as this trial is not just going to end in August. The August hearing is just one piece of witness testimony. This thing is going to go for quite a long time, several months beyond this at the very least, very likely into 2026. And that is something that scares Johnny Somali. It scares him because every time there's a trial, every new month, this comes up again in the news cycle, and it gets worse and worse and worse for him as the facts pile on and as the charges pile on. Because almost every single month, he has had a new charge added. He started with one charge. He's up to 7, and we're not even done yet. And until there is a jury verdict, more can be added. More charges can indeed be added to the docket, including the Child Welfare Act, which has been refiled against him and is currently being investigated by police and then would in the future be passed to prosecutors after that police investigation. So he knows these things are real. He knows these things are coming, and he is scared. And because of that, they feel the need to take out any and all detractors. And they have tried this with myself. They've tried it very, very hard with myself by getting people to come after me, defame me, create fake profiles on X, YouTube, etc., Discord, and do all those sorts of things. But that hasn't worked. So they're moving on to other targets, people they see.
And I want to pause here again because look, this parody account, I've actually had a chance to retweet and even, see what they're doing, and they're doing good stuff. Without this person and others like him or her, I don't know. I again don't want to assume anything, but I will say this: this parody account of Johnny Somali and others not only gathered so much evidence of Somali harassing people and causing disruption in South Korea, but it's going to be used against him potentially in the courts in South Korea. Now, many are wondering why isn't Johnny in jail? Just so you guys know, South Korea doesn't do that. They don't play like that. And so in turn, what South Korea is doing, they're holding him while he's still out there, and just Johnny, being an idiot, thinks he's going to get away with it. Hell, there was a documentary made about him, and it's just absolute pure cringe in my book because when I want to visit a country, I've had the privilege of visiting Japan. I want to enjoy the culture, the music, the food, the people, and I want all of you to do the same as well. But these nuisance criminal streamers on YouTube, Kick, and X are making it bad for the rest of us because then, not to mention, more laws will be enforced. And already in Japan, take for example, Legal Mindset, who went on vacation, went to Japan, and he didn't have a business passport or visa or anything like that. When he said he does online content, they were strict in saying, hey, you can't do anything. So if I ever were to visit Japan or South Korea, the Philippines, Japan right now is enforcing it. So that's a whole big change. There was a time that they never did that. Those days are gone now. All right. On the one hand, okay, that's good. It stops the criminal streamers from doing criminal actions. It means, hey, we all have to follow the laws as we should, and I'm all for it. Follow the laws, do things properly so you're able to do the work. And I would love to do content in Japan or wherever the hell else if I get the opportunity to do so. But nonetheless, this is the actions of what these criminal streamers have done. And in turn, their actions can also land into more censorship and online regulation, which, believe you me, it's already in place and it's already making it difficult. So let's continue on.
As weak links because they want to try to attack the people covering the story to mute it down and to tamp down the level. And one of the main figures, at least on X, is Johnny So Somali. That is an X account that's been covering this saga right along with my coverage, really giving a lot of clips, a lot of other commentary, a lot of stuff that's even outside of the legal scope, which sometimes I shy away from. But he's been covering and tracking this golden goblin, this dwarf over in Seoul, and really not letting him get away with anything. And because of that, the folks on Discord have decided to target him. So we have a leak here from inside of the Discord. You have Demonic Somali, yet another Somali account, saying all those guys are using Johnny So Somali. That's the.
And I just find it so gross because, when the outcome of P. Diddy's trial came out, he was like, oh, P. Diddy got free. I'm next. South Korea, please stop this monster. All right? Because Johnny Somali was causing problems in Japan, decided to go to Israel and cause the same things happening there in 2024 at the height of when things were really starting to get crazy. Okay? That was insane. And now he goes to South Korea, oils up and twerks on the comfort women statues. I mean, that is, he's done other terrible things here too, but it's just my God. And you're going after parody accounts and people that have been gathering evidence on you, stuff that you're doing.
The X account as their source. He should be the first one on the hit list. Now, to me, when I hear hit list, I immediately think this is threat of bodily harm. Now, they may try to defer and say, no, this is a digital hit list. We're coming after them digitally. Not that that makes it any better. Once again, understand these people are attacking someone not for just reasons or not for any other thing because they violate the TOS. They're indeed violating the terms of service by submitting false reports. And they're willing to use all methods to submit false reports to try to get people taken down and try to get people taken out. So you see here, they continue on, and this actually is an important reply here. They're just going to continue stacking charges against Johnny. Everyone should report. See, that's where the truth is. The truth is they are scared of these charges coming against him, and they understand that more press, more coverage, like my channel and like Johnny Somali on X and all the other people covering it, actually does lead to these charges being taken very seriously because people are aware of the social media presence. And the South Korean media will indeed pick up our coverage, translate it, and put it out there. And because of that, They know that more can be stacked against him, and they are afraid for their dear leader, who is now deeply in hiding as he is finally realizing that there are consequences to his action. He's getting to the FO part of FAFO. But here we go. Of course, the Discord says they're BS charges. Just deport the man and move on. Of course, they wish they would do that. That's what they want from every country. They just want them to be deported because that's not a real consequence. That's literally letting him get away with all of his criminal activity. And then right down here, this is great. And this, I had to censor this, although I'm sure you guys can understand this. I have a friend with a Twitter bot that can mass report accounts. A couple ninjas will get virtually graped this weekend.
Oh, always such a wonderful human being, Johnny boy. Look, I mean, let's. I understand how some of you, my audience, might feel about these nuisance streamers, but I have my own perspective on this. I fear that these criminal nuisance streamers who have a platform on Twitch or Kick or on YouTube are going to lead to further regulations and censorship and stricter policies. All right. We already know that the YouTube algorithm has changed. Okay. I don't want it to make it to where it's going to be impossible. All right. And these guys, yes, they have to be held accountable. But if they're not made an example of, there's going to be more copycats out there. And how many times have we seen people on TikTok or social media, for example, try and get clout by putting somebody in danger or harassing somebody or bullying people? There was that one guy who was spraying bug spray on food products in Walmart, for example, all because of clout chasing and everything else. And yes, he did that in the United States. But at this point in time, like Johnny Somali and all his fake little clones from Vitali and everyone else, you know, they're allowing this environment, this kind of mindset to continue, and it's got to be broken. And so I am happy what's happened to Vitali in the Philippines. What he was doing there was wrong, especially at the height of a presidential election where the president of the Philippines did a YouTube reaction video to his actions. And you have Somali in South Korea doing all sorts of BS. I don't like that. I hate that, because when you or myself want to travel overseas, the last thing we want is people to think that we're going to be disrespectful when we pull out our cell phone to take a photo or do a video. We want to enjoy the culture and music and people. As somebody who's been overseas, who's enjoyed Japan 2 times, I hope for a 3rd time as well, I want to enjoy the culture. I would love to make some videos and content there. But my fear is that the actions of these criminal streamers for the past few years have left a sour taste in many people's minds and hearts that foreigners are just going to come there just to cause trouble. And when you have good people standing up and gathering evidence, and a lot of this evidence is going to be used against Somali for his court case, I don't want somebody to be censored. So to that parody account, Johnny Somali, what have they done that was so wrong? Oh, I don't know, hold Johnny Somali accountable for his actions, manage to save his videos before he thinks he could delete them forever? No. Look, I don't like censorship, and I don't like bullies using the censorship system.
So already saying they're going to submit false reports using a bot to mass report over this weekend. Now, mind you, these guys have already submitted fake profiles. They've already made fake claims. They've already tried to strike people. This has happened, but they're not giving up. And this is something that they're going to continue to do as this thing goes on. But to me, what the signals is Johnny Somali and his Discord are desperate. They are flailing and they are trying to get anything to give any wins they can get before August 13th. And all of Somali and his fanboys, all of his supporters, are trying to do their best to target verifiable and legitimate sources of information like myself, like Somali, that have been accurate and objective throughout this coverage of Johnny Somali specifically. They're trying to come after sources of information because they want it to be quiet. They want nobody to know what's going on in Seoul, South Korea. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, now I'm not the only one covering it, although I do have some exclusive channels that other folks don't have. A lot of people are covering this. So even if you take out one person, there's so many other people that are going to cover this, so many other outlets that are going to cover it. Korean mainstream media is going to cover it. So there's no way that we're going to let the Somali dwarf, Johnny Ramsey, win here. He's absolutely going to lose. But I stand with all the other creators that are trying to give it good reporting on this, objective reporting on this. And if there's anything I can do, I'll help them out. But I know what you guys can do. Let's go over there, like, share, and follow not just my video, but the accounts that are against Ramzi Khalid Ismail. Leaving likes, comments, and supporting those channels is the most you can do. So go out there and support your favorite channels that are fighting the dwarf. Until
Yep, exactly. And I agree. I agree. Call them out. Step up to these bullies. Step up to these scumbag nuisance criminal streamers so that they are no longer harassing people and making things difficult for the rest of us. I want to enjoy going overseas, and I would love to make content overseas. I would love to do a Hard Lens Media Tokyo edition, Seoul edition. No, wait, correction. Hold on. Correction for our Chicago sister cities. I'd like to do a Hard Lens Media Osaka in Japan series, or Hard Lens Media in Busan, South Korea. That's right. That's right. That's right. You know, because Busan is Chicago's sister city in South Korea. And you know what? We don't have a sister city in the Philippines, but you know what? Manila, you've been adopted. Welcome to the Chicago sisterhood. There you go. You know, traveling to the Philippines. Yeah, Thrilla in Manila. There you go. I mean, come on. It also says a lot about how scared Somali is towards the fact that, yeah, time is running out for him. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and he's going to be done for, like the punk that he is. He has harassed and hurt too many people. He's made things very difficult for the rest of us in the online community. And for those of you who want to enjoy or enjoy, you know, different peoples and cultures, like, again, it's these criminal nuisance streamers, which is why I do talk about it occasionally on the show, because they have to be stopped. They have to be stopped. It's my opinion, and that's how I feel about it, because I know people who live overseas, good people who are, you know, doing good work there. So let's stand up against these bullies, okay? I think we need to stand up to them. And I'm going to say one thing here, because I did reach out to the parody account and I said, look, I'm against censorship. I don't like people using the platforms to censor and suppress. So keep doing the good work. So I stand in solidarity with that parody account, and nothing better not happen to them. You try and suppress free speech, you got a problem, as we should. So outstanding work from Legal Mindset. Check out his work. He's been one of the dauntless few. And there you go.